Okay, so what I wanted to do for you guys today is kind of give you a little bit of a tour of the course and where you can find the important parts of our class. So right now I'm viewing our class as a student. So I'm seeing what you would see. So right here on the right, you can see the teacher information. You could see my phone number, my picture, my email, my hours of availability. Those are the hours that I'm most likely to answer the phone. If you call and I don't answer, just leave a message and I'll call you back. My kids are young and they're kind of loud, and so I usually wait till I'm in a quiet space and I can really focus on what you're saying and really talk with you. You can click here to view my welcome message, use your O365 account, see any badges of mine if you really care about that. As you scroll down a little more, you can see your syllabus, and so if I click on this, you can see that you'll see the syllabus, again, these same hours. You'll see your grade weights, our late work policy, and then you'll see our course. Now let me get a week that has some due dates. So what you can see here is you can see a couple different things. If something is crossed out like this, that means you don't have to do that assignment. I left it here in case you see any references to that assignment in the content. You know that you don't have to do that, and it wasn't something that I accidentally left off the schedule. Usually these are assignments that felt a little more like busy work to me, so I just wanted you guys to spend the time in the class working on assignments that I felt were important and that really relate to the AP exam. So that's why those assignments are crossed out. If you have something that is highlighted, that's something you need to turn in for a grade. Okay, so you could see on this page there's several things that are highlighted, and so those are things that will be turned in for a grade. Okay, these Wednesdays are your due dates. Your first Wednesday you won't have a due date, but you will the second one. So the first Wednesday or the second Wednesday you'll have all this stuff from week 1 plus the stuff Monday and Tuesday of the second week. The assignments on the schedule for Wednesday are not due until the next week. And the reason we do that is in case you have a technical difficulty or something happens on Wednesday as you're working on that assignment, you have time for us to troubleshoot and figure out what's going on with that Wednesday assignment, because it's really not due until the next week. With that being said, if you wait till Wednesday to do all these assignments that were due and you have a technical difficulty with one of those on Wednesday, there's nothing we can do about that. I may or may not be able to get back to you in time for the due date, and then you may have to turn it in late. So I really recommend printing out this schedule and just kind of like crossing off stuff as you complete it. And if you have a day, like for example Tuesday, you see there's not a lot going on Tuesday. There's a discussion and that's about it. Go ahead to the next day. If you finish that, go to the next day. You finish that, go to the next day. That way you can get a little bit ahead in the class, and if you do start running behind for some reason, I know we have days that we're really busy, you don't feel like you're so pressed for time because you are ahead of the class. Another thing that's really neat about turning in stuff ahead of time, for example, let's say you turn in this scientific inquiry lab on Friday, January 10th. It's technically not due until January 15th. So if you turn that in on Friday, I can grade that, give you a grade, fill out the rubric, tell you what you missed, what you didn't miss, what you did well on, what you didn't, where you need a little bit of help, and then you can work on that and resubmit that until Wednesday for full credit. Okay? You can do that for discussions. You can do that for labs, assignments. The only thing you can't resubmit is an FRQ. And then obviously a test. You can't resubmit a test or a quiz. But you can do that for all these pink assignments and these discussions. So definitely take advantage of that. So the last thing I want to do is kind of talk to you about the final exam schedule, because it's a little different this semester. If you've ever been with us before, you know that final exams are usually Wednesday and Thursday, and that's it. Well, they wanted to give you guys a little more flexibility this semester, especially with all these AP exams going on. So you can actually start your exam Saturday, May 2nd, which isn't even shown on the calendar because we only have weekdays on the calendar. And you can do that final exam anytime between Saturday, May 2nd and Thursday, May 7th. Okay, so that gives you a lot of time. You can see that down here in this black box. That gives you a lot of time to do that final exam. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay. Now let's go to the course. You can see your standards. Here's your acknowledgement form. You can click on that. Now, one thing with your acknowledgement form is you need to be logged in to your Georgia Virtual School email account when you try and open this form. Okay, if you're not logged into your Georgia Virtual School email account, you won't be able to see this form. So you want to be logged into it in the same browser. Okay, if you click here, you can go to our live sessions, which are Tuesdays at 8 p.m. I usually have something scheduled for you guys, just so you have something, going on. But if I don't have anything, but if you do have questions, you're more than welcome to come to these sessions. Please come to these sessions. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself. But if you can't attend for whatever reason, I know you guys are busy. Once the first recording is posted, there will be a little section right above this resources for Jigsaw sessions, and it'll have the links to every session. So for example, the first one would say welcome presentation or welcome session 1720, and that would be linked right there, and you could watch the session. That way you can still get the information that I go over during the course, during those sessions, and then any resources for those sessions that I use, like a PowerPoint or information about lab reports. You can see there's editable data tables, things like that. Those will all be there. Another thing that I'm offering new this semester is if you watch the welcome session, you can then take a quiz. Okay, so if you watch the video for that live session, which again will be posted up here, then you can go ahead and take one of these quizzes, and let's check one out. So when you do that quiz, you could see that it's going to already know your name and your email, so I'll know exactly who's doing it already. And then each one is a little different, and so for example, this one you will get 5 points on your discussion grade if you get a 100. And then there's just like a couple questions and you get the 100, and then you're on your way. So those are something new I'm doing this year to try and encourage you guys to watch these live sessions, because there is so much important information that we go over during these live sessions. So something else I want to show you is the bulletin board, and for a while the bulletin board will have this start section in here until everyone gets into the class. But then I also have these buttons here, and these buttons take you to a newsletter. So let's open one and see what it does. And there's information about every single assignment. Okay, so you can see it tells you what you need to do to get full credit. It has a link to the article in the discussion prompt. Labs will have a lot more stuff. So for example, you can say that it shows the link to the handout. It's on page 9. There's some resources for how to make graphs, a video walking you through how to write a lab report, and a video walking you through a sample lab report and what's going to be in each section. And then it obviously recommends that you read the rubric, and we'll get into that. This also has a lot of questions that students have asked throughout the semesters about this assignment. And so anytime you ask a question about an assignment, I will put it in here, in one of where related to that assignment, wherever that assignment belongs. So if you ask an assignment about a question about this lab, it'll go here. So never feel bad about asking a question, because once you ask that question, then it's for everyone else can see that too. And a lot of times students ask the same question, so you can see that here. Another thing that this is great about is that when you ask me a question, you have to wait for my response. If you check out these frequently asked questions, your question might be on here and already have an answer, and that way you don't have to wait for my response. It's already there. So that's another cool thing about these questions that I put in here for you. These are the 2 videos, how to write a lab report and a sample lab report walkthrough. You can see this first FRQ. There's some information about this first FRQ and some videos that show you kind of how to answer FRQs, and some other questions about this FRQ. I like to have lots of additional resources, so if there's any pictures I think are useful or any videos, and these aren't always videos that I've made, they're all here. Just to help you guys out in case you need a little more help with something. Okay, so all of that is there, and there is one of these for every single module. So we can go to aquatic biomes, you'll see the same thing. Okay, so there's something for every single module, and hopefully these additional resources will help you out. There's also an AP exam review one, which I would definitely bookmark that one because it's got lots of AP exam reviews. Anytime I find something that will help students review for the AP exam, I put it here. So I would definitely check that out. The other thing that I've done is I've created a stream video library, so you'll need to be logged into your O365 account or your school email to do that. But once you've done that, you can see all of my videos that I've made for students. And so let's say you're curious about, oops, that's not what I wanted to hit. Let's say you're curious about climate change. Okay, so I have a lot of videos about climate change, so it takes a little bit to load because, it's going through not just the titles of the videos, but also the transcript for the video. Another thing that you can do is you can just click apes, and it'll bring you all the videos that I've tagged apes. And these aren't necessarily videos that I've made, but they're videos that I think are useful about apes. Okay, AP Environmental Science. Some of these are mine, some are not, but I've saved them all here for you. So in case YouTube, they change their links or whatever, they're all ready to go. The other important thing on your homepage are these news items, and there are important news items posted almost every day. Okay, and they will have information for you, like how to get your schedule, a video tour like this one, information about the live sessions, what's due each day. There are lots and lots of news announcements, and they'll be posted almost every day. So definitely check those out because those are pretty important. Now let's kind of get into the meat of the class. If you have any problems, you can always go to the Student Success site, and there's lots of information here. They have this little like board game kind of thing. There are all these things on the left if you need help, whatever you need help with. So there's a lot of information at the Student Success site. So definitely if you have questions about virtual school in general, not necessarily our class in particular, you can check that out. You can also go to the help link, and that will help you too. So let's figure out how to get to our course materials. So we'll click course materials, and we'll click this drop down menu, and we'll click content. When you see content, you'll see all of our different modules down the side. So if I want to go to the first module, well, course introduction is technically the first module, but we'll go to this one just to show you. You can kind of see all the pages. Lots of vocab terms, lots of little questions. There's really interesting resources on the side, and you can click through. And so this is almost like a Cliff's Notes of your textbook. So it's got lots of information that can kind of help you through the course. And so what we really like to do is I really suggest you just read through these pages, and then when you get to a part that says an assignment, then you do that assignment, because a lot of times the assignment uses the information you've learned in the previous sections. This assignment, for example, is referring to it, but I thought it was kind of a busy work assignment, and so I didn't make you guys do that. So that's why I wanted to cross those out in the schedule, because then if you saw it here, you didn't think that you were missing something. Okay, so that's how you get to this to the content. You can also, if you've heard about your e-text, you should have received an email about your e-text. You can go here, and this will give you information on how to download your e-text. Okay, and you can click AP Environmental Science and follow these instructions. Okay. The next thing that you can do is this assessments. That's where you'll probably hang out a lot, because that's where most of our information is at, and where you turn in assignments and things like that. So these are our welcome all of our discussions. So you can see the welcome discussion. You can click on that. My computer is slow this morning. You can see all of the posts that people have made in the welcome discussion. So there's a bunch of those. Next, you can go to the Dropbox, and this is where you'll find your assignments, and you can go ahead and hand them in. So let's go to this first one, the Scientific Inquiry Lab, and let's see what's going on in that folder. Okay, Now, in this folder, what I've done is I've gone ahead and put the information in here for you. So you can see this information about the handout, some tips about this, and then the 2 videos. Okay? It also shows you the rubric for this assignment, so you can see exactly what you need to do to earn full credit. That's going to be on the left, meets or exceeds expectations. And then you can submit your assignment. So if we're going to submit an assignment, okay, I can go to my computer, I can upload an assignment. You wait for it to start, and then you hit add. I'm not actually going to submit this because it causes some problems when I submit an assignment as a student and then I try and go look back at the course as a teacher. But you can write any comments you have for me and you can hit submit. Remember, you must submit a file to the Dropbox. You cannot submit a link to like a Google Drive file. Okay? And so that's how the Dropbox assignments work. Okay, you can see here if there's something I don't want you to do, I just went ahead and took that Dropbox out so you didn't get confused. Okay, because there are so many Dropboxes to begin with. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is these test corrections. If you do a test and you don't do as well as you'd like, you can do test corrections on that test. You can watch this video. It tells you exactly what you need to do. And then the very last day to turn in test corrections is the Tuesday of the last day of class. These folders, let me show you. These folders they will automatically close May 6th at midnight. So please, I really suggest doing your test corrections ahead of time versus waiting to the last minute. Because every semester I have students that wait till the last minute and they can't get them all uploaded before the folder closes, and then they're all upset because they've done test corrections and they can't get them in. Okay? So that's Dropbox folders. Next, let's go to quizzes. So these are all of your quizzes in the course. Okay? You won't see final exam. I only see that because I'm the teacher. So let's say we want to take a test. You can do this, and then you'll be able to hit start quiz. I can't do that because I'm the teacher, but you can kind of see the test. And you want to plan an uninterrupted hour to take these tests. Okay, if you're working on your computer and it's not plugged in and your computer dies during the test, you better plug it in pretty quickly because that timer is going to keep ticking, and I can't give you extra time to do your test because your computer died. Okay? So it's very, very important that you plan that, in uninterrupted time to take your test. Now let's go to the grades section. This is where you'll see all the grades for your class. Okay, so you'll see all of the assignments in the course. There are some assignments that are exempt that I'm not making you do. And those assignments will have an exempt in them. I'm just waiting for everybody to get into the class before I exempt them for everyone. Okay? So this is kind of your grade book, and it'll show like what assignments you've had graded and what your grade was. And then you'll also be able to click on your feedback. And and then I have a different video with the feedback. I can't show you the feedback today because I've already, I don't have any assignments turned in for this course. So anyway, that's a tour of our class. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions, please just ask. Thank you.